You didn't fail your diet. Your body sabotaged it on purpose. Statistics say that 80 to 90% of people who lose a significant amount of weight gain it all back within a few years. And almost half of them gain back more than they started with. Society tells you this is your fault. They say you got lazy, you slipped up, you lost your discipline. They are lying to you. What is actually happening is a mechanical, biological siege. When you lose weight, you are declaring war on millions of years of human evolution. Your brain doesn't look in the mirror and think you look great. Your brain looks at your shrinking waistline and thinks, we are starving to death, and we need to fix this right now. By the time you hit your goal weight, your internal machinery has completely rewired itself to force you to eat, to force you to sit still, and to trap every single calorie you consume. Today, we are going to look under the hood. I'm going to show you exactly how you got fat, what actually happens to fat when it leaves your body, and the terrifying biological trap your brain sets to get it all back. Most importantly, I'll show you the exact mechanical bypass to beat it. To understand why your body fights to get the fat back, you have to understand how it got there in the first place. Think of your body as a high-tech survival vehicle. For 99% of human history, calories were rare. If you couldn't store excess energy during the summer, you died in the winter. So, evolution gave us the adipocyte, the fat cell. Picture a fat cell like a microscopic water balloon. When you eat more fuel than you burn, insulin opens the valve and pumps the excess energy into that balloon in the form of triglycerides. If you keep overeating, the balloon stretches. It gets bigger and bigger. This is called hypertrophy. But there's a physical limit to how far one cell can stretch. So what happens when the balloon is totally full, but you keep eating? Your body does something dark. It creates brand new fat cells. This is called hyperplasia. It builds new, empty balloons to store the overflow. Now here's the secret that the fitness industry almost never talks about. It is the core reason you are struggling right now. When you finally go on a diet and lose the weight, you are draining the balloons. The fat is broken down, enters your bloodstream, and you actually exhale it out of your lungs as carbon dioxide. The balloon deflates. You look in the mirror and you look leaner, but the balloon did not go away. Once your body builds a fat cell, it is yours for life. You can shrink them, but you cannot delete them without surgery. So if you were 40 pounds overweight, you are now walking around with billions of tiny, deflated, empty balloons scattered across your midsection. And they are not dead. They are highly active, and they are screaming to be refilled. Now you are at your goal weight. You think the hard work is over, but your brain is just initiating its counterattack. It executes this across two different battlefields, hormones and energy. Let's look at the hormones first. When your fat cells were full, they secreted a hormone called leptin. Leptin is a signal flare that travels to your brain and says, "We have plenty of fuel, you don't need to be hungry." But when you drain those fat cells, leptin plummets. The signal flare goes dark. Suddenly, the hypothalamus in your brain panics. It assumes famine has struck, so it releases a different hormone called ghrelin. Ghrelin is the hunger hormone, but it doesn't just make your stomach rumble. It actively changes your psychology. It alters your dopamine pathways so that food actually looks better, smells stronger, and triggers a higher reward in your brain than it did before you lost the weight. You aren't imagining things. Your brain is literally drug testing you with hunger, making hyper-processed food nearly impossible to ignore. But making you hungry is only phase 1. Phase 2 is where it gets ruthless. If your brain thinks you're starving, it won't just make you seek food. It will physically stop you from burning it. This is a proven biological phenomenon called adaptive thermogenesis. When you lose a lot of weight, your metabolism doesn't just slow down because you are a smaller person. It slows down disproportionately. Your brain turns down the dial on your thyroid. Your heart rate slows slightly. But the biggest drop happens in a system called NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Without asking your permission, your brain shuts all of this down to conserve battery. You stop fidgeting. You slump your shoulders. You take the elevator instead of the stairs because your legs feel just a little heavier. You don't even notice it's happening, but suddenly you are burning 300 to 500 fewer calories every single day just existing. Now, combine the math. Your ghrelin is high, so you are ravenously hungry. Your leptin is low, so you never feel full. Your metabolism has dimmed the lights, burning 400 fewer calories a day. And you have billions of empty, deflated fat cells that are hypersensitive to insulin, ready to absorb a donut like a sponge. The moment your willpower cracks, and it will, the weight doesn't just come back, it snaps back. And because your metabolism is now slower, you put the fat on faster than you did the first time. This sounds bleak. It sounds like you are destined to fail. You aren't. But you cannot fight biology with a motivational quote. You have to fight biology with biology. If you want to keep the weight off permanently, you have to throw out the cliché, eat less, move more, garbage. You need a mechanical bypass. Here are the 3 non-negotiable rules to trick your body into accepting its new weight. Rule number 1, the hold the line phase. The biggest mistake people make is trying to lose weight forever. They hit a wall, they panic, and they cut calories even lower. That is pouring gasoline on a fire. When you lose 10% of your body weight, you must stop. You must intentionally enter a maintenance phase for at least 8 to 12 weeks. You slowly raise your calories back to a normal maintenance level. You stop losing weight on purpose. Why? Because time is the only thing that resets leptin. You have to prove to your brain that this new, lighter weight is safe and that the famine is over. You are letting the hormonal storm calm down before you push further. Rule number 2, build the engine. I said earlier that you can't delete fat cells, but you can build a tissue that burns up the energy before the fat cells can grab it. Muscle is the most metabolically expensive tissue on your body. When you lift heavy weights, you aren't just looking good. You are building a metabolic sink. Muscle physically pulls glucose out of your bloodstream without even needing insulin. If you want to permanently raise your basal metabolic rate and offset the brain's attempt to slow you down, you must put on muscle. It is your permanent metabolic armor. Rule number 3, hack the stretch receptors. Your brain relies on hormones to know if you're full, but it also relies on physical mechanics. Your stomach has stretch receptors. If you want to shut down ghrelin, the hunger hormone, without absorbing calories, you have to physically stretch the stomach wall. You don't do this with a protein bar or a handful of almonds. They are too small. You do this with massive volumes of water and fibrous vegetables. If your stomach physically expands from a giant bowl of broccoli and 2 glasses of water, the stretch receptors fire a mechanical signal to the brain that says, "We are full. Shut down the hunger." You are literally using physics to beat biochemistry. Losing weight is a battle. Keeping it off is a war. But it's a war you can win once you stop treating your body like it's broken and start realizing it's just trying to keep you alive based on ancient programming. Respect the machinery. Build the muscle. Reset the hormones. And stop blaming yourself for a biological response you didn't understand until today. If this made the mechanics of your body click for the first time, hit subscribe. Next time, we're going to break down the exact mechanism of how your body clears out dead cells to keep you young, and why you are accidentally stopping it from happening. Stay sharp. See you in the next one.